Hey everyone, welcome back to ATX VGC's Monday Night Friendlies. So we are here tonight with the very first of the Series 7 for Monday Night Friendlies. We are so excited to bring these to y'all. We've got 4 incredible battles lined up, and it's actually a week where none of the 4 of us will be playing, which is also super unique and doesn't happen every week. A lot of excitement coming in from the Discord as everyone's highly anticipating Series 7. So we're really excited to bring these to you. Alright, and we're back. Looks like we already have our game feed here. Give me one sec while I readjust the size on it. Hey everyone, welcome. I see a question, is this a tournament? This is not actually a tournament. These are our ATX VGC Monday Night Friendlies. We host a weekly series of friendly best of 3 practice, where we go ahead and give everyone the chance to get some best of 3s in, so that when you're going into a tournament, it's not the first time you've used a team. We also think it's a fun way to get to play each other. It's what we used to do before quarantine every week at our locals here in Austin, Texas. We just took it all here online, so...
Yeah, and then eventually, hopefully, it'll be back in person sometime soon, and we can stream the in-person stuff along with potentially having another night online for the friendlies.
Yeah, for sure. So right off the bat here, we're jumping immediately into this. We've got Sir Wilson versus Poulter. Sir Wilson's bringing a team of Dragapult, Zapdos Galarian, Lapras, Comfey, Heatran, and everyone's favorite Genie, Lando, Therian form.
Yeah, and from Poulter we see Dracovish, Ninetales, Alola, Clefairy, Porygon Z, Incineroar, and Whimsicott. They have really only Series 5 and 6 Pokemon. Potentially it's a still solid team in Series 7. Porygon Z Clefairy has seen some usage already in the format, and it'll be interesting to see how it matches up against the new threats like Heatran and Landorus.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we do see this kind of divergence here, where we've got some legendaries going on over on Sir Wilson's side of the field, but for Poulter there are none. But these Pokemon are incredibly powerful and have done very well in different formats. It looks kind of like taking some of the best of Series 6 in the PZ Clefairy and some of the best in Series 5 in Incineroar, Whimsicott, and Dracovish.
Yeah, no, for sure. It'll be interesting to see how these different archetypes match up in Series 7.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and see right off the bat here. We're going to get leads. We've got Sir Wilson on the left, Poulter over on the right, and the leads from Poulter are going to be Whimsicott and Alolan Ninetales with a double fairy lead.
And then from Sir Wilson's side, we see the Heatran and the Zapdos. An interesting thing to see here is that the Whimsicott is on a team where there is Hail, potentially signaling that it is not Focus Sash, as the Hail would break it. It could be something like Eject Button, Babiri Berry, something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting to see.
Yeah, a lot of times if you see on a team, you're not going to be running a weather that will break your own Focus Sash alongside the Pokemon who really needs that Focus Sash. So I think on this first turn, we're probably going to be seeing, if I had to guess, a Tailwind and a Aurora Veil to get things started.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. We potentially could see something like a Trick and a Blizzard.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Both of these Pokemon on Poulter's side are very threatened by the Heatran, potentially trying to get that off the field before it can really send off a Heat Wave or some other fire type attack into the 2 Pokemon, both weak to fire.
Yep. We see here a turn 1 Dynamax coming out from Sir Wilson. We've got the, this is our second time seeing the Galarian Zapdos of the night, seeing it Dynamax yet again. The incredibly long legs and very short wings, but it looks intimidating nonetheless. Oh, we do see exactly what you had said before, Tiki, there, as we see the switcheroo and the eject button onto that Heatran as a Blizzard comes out and immediately removes it from the field.
Yeah, no, I mean...
and it gets a freeze!
Is Heat Wave an auto-thaw move? Do we know this?
You know, I'm not as familiar with the auto-thaw moves. I know that Flare Blitz, it is not coming in the chat from Rollercoaster as someone who has had his fair share of times that he's been frozen, so if anyone's gonna know it, it's gonna be Rollercoaster.
Yeah, I don't understand why more fire moves are not auto-thaw.
We do see immediately there the Max Airstream will go ahead and remove the Whimsicott from the field because it's not protected by a Focus Sash, but you know what? It did what it came here to do. It got that trick eject button, removed the Heatran from the field immediately, forces out a Dragapult in Hail to take a Blizzard this upcoming turn. It is going to be boosted at +1 speed from that Max Airstream, so that is something that Polter's going to have to be a little bit worried about.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting because if this Ninetales is Focus Sash, like we very well assume, there is no real quick way to deal with it because Dragapult's only one-turn move is Dragon Darts, not affecting the Ninetales whatsoever. So we potentially could see something like Dragon Darts to get rid of this Dracovish, and then even we see potentially a Flutterby to weaken the damage output of the Ninetales, or even we could just see another Airstream boost.
Yeah, so we see here the Dragon Darts will be moving first, and they'll both be directed into this Dracovish. Looks like it is just barely going to be enough, unless it gets a low roll right here. I don't know how those how those went right there, but oh, we see a question coming in from the chat. Is it over? I just went to the Discord, so no, we're still live here. We'll be hanging out in the Discord immediately after this, though, and you can sign up for next week's Monday Night Friendlies on this upcoming Thursday if you want to participate next week.
Yeah, as we see the Ninetales go down to the Sash because of the Max Airstream, and Blizzard should just pick up a KO here.
Oh.
I think that's in KO range after the hail damage, but it'll be interesting to see what Polter's last Pokemon is, what they decided to bring. Probably the Porygon Z.
Oh, and that Dragapult just barely lives on 3 HP with now its weakness policy procced. That's going to be a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, I have to ask, do we know if... I guess it doesn't matter now, but I was going to say, do we know if a Pokemon in an alternate dimension takes hail damage?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that's
transcends dimensions.
Yeah, weather goes through the dimensional rift alongside the Dragapult if it happens to go for Phantom Force, a 2-turn move on this upcoming turn here. So we see here with Sir Wilson, on the 3rd turn of his Dynamax, he has eliminated half of his opponent's Pokemon, and that Ninetales is just down on its Focus Sash right now, which is a very precarious position to be in.
Yeah, and it looks as though Will double targeted into this Porygon Z, potentially a risky move if it chooses to max guard and let the Ninetales get one final Blizzard off. If not, then it should pick up the KO at this point.
Yep, so we see here the Porygon Z goes ahead and Dynamaxes. It goes for that crazy animation where it loves just kind of flipping its, I guess those are flippers, I'm not quite sure what they are, but loves flailing around with those, and the Dragon Darts do come out now at +2, does almost enough damage on their own with a critical hit there on the 2nd Dragon Dart. Combined with the Max Knuckle, this is pretty much going to go ahead and seal up the game. We will see Polter go ahead and more than likely pick up a double KO with the Blizzard into Hail Chip, but having to take down the last 2 Pokemon all by the Alolan Ninetales self is going to be pretty tough.
Hey, where there's a freeze, there's a way.
You're not wrong. So it's all going to come down, I think, now to speed tiers. The ability, the Hail is still being active for at least, I believe, 1 to 2 more turns. We saw 3 turns of Dynamax from this Galarian Zapdos, so I believe that's, what, 1 more turn?
I believe so,
Oh.
and with a Frozen Heatran and a Landorus, Blizzard could end up kind of getting through this.
Yeah, especially given the fact that we currently see the item on that Landorus. Polter has not seen that item, but depending on freeze rolls here for this Heatran, it could spell a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no, if this Heatran can't find a way to unthaw itself and Landorus goes down to this Blizzard, it'll be a tough time for Will here, even though he picked up the KOs early on. There's very little he can do with the freeze on that turn 1.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and see how this Hail will pay dividends. It is, in fact, faster than this Landorus, knowing that it is not a Choice Scarf variant, and it's going to pick up the 1-hit KO despite the Max Flutterby. And let's see what happens here from this Heatran. It goes ahead and thaws out on the first turn that it can, goes for the Flash Cannon, and will pick up the last little tick of HP right there as the Alolan Ninetales will go back to Polter. And we'll go ahead and get ready here for game number 2.
That was apparently Will knew better than us that the fire move isn't what's going to unthaw you. It's in fact the steel move that's going to unthaw.
Of course. How do you make it through a snowstorm? With a shovel, right?
Yeah. So we should see. I mean, what do you think Poulter can do for game 2? Like, what do you think their adjustment is based on what we saw from game 1?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the trick eject button is definitely something that can be really helpful if it can invalidate a Dynamax. The other thing that I think is really important here was the speed control for the game. So being able to get a Tailwind if you're able to live beyond just the one turn. So like if you trick eject button into, say, the Zapdos and the Heatran goes ahead and targets down the Alolan Ninetales, you're in a position to go for a Tailwind on turn 2 and maintain speed control, because Sir Wilson won't have any other means of boosting his speed, with Max Airstream being really his only option.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a pretty good take there. I think like the one issue is going to be potentially like getting the Porygon Z into a position to be successful is going to be very difficult. If that is like, it's just with these new like Series 7 threats, it's very difficult to position some of the older threats without the proper redirection, and potentially Clefairy could be that redirection. The one issue is that if leading the Clefairy, you can't lead both Clefairy and Whimsicott, and without leading Whimsicott, you could potentially fall victim to the weakness policy Dragapult paired with the Comfey. So it'll be interesting to see like what is the proper way to go through this in Poulter's view.
Yeah, for sure. One of the Pokemon that really is going to be causing a lot of issues for Poulter, I think it's going to be that Heatran being able to hit so many of their Pokemon just for super effective damage, including the Redirector in Clefairy, as well as being a resist to Porygon Z's attacks. And when you add in Landorus, given the fact the item that we've seen on that Landorus, I think it might take a Max Strike a little bit more comfortably than Poulter would like as well.
Yeah, although if it's not Dynamax, I don't think it will be taking a Max Quake whatsoever.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and see. We see the exact same leads from both trainers here, and what do you think? Do you think we're going to see the adjustment that we theoried just a minute ago?
I think we might still see the same trick into the Heatran, but potentially we could just see a very basic Brave Bird from this Zapdos being Choice Scarf, getting the KO before the Tailwind goes up. Otherwise, we could just see, an initial Tailwind and a Blizzard.
And we'll see the Aurora Veil actually opting for the damage reduction here in game number 2, deciding that so much of that damage coming out from Sir Wilson's Pokemon last turn were an issue. We actually just see the U-turn come out for Sir Wilson to go ahead and break the sash on that Alolan Ninetales, likely going to be a Flash Cannon into that slot this next turn.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see now. Oh, and we do see the Heat Wave.
And Whimsicott avoids. That's big. Now this Whimsicott's going to still maintain its eject button so that it can freely trick it onto any other Pokemon here.
Yeah, while I will say that that's a pretty terrible avoid, the Lapras is much more threatening at the current moment to, I believe, to Poulter's side. Even with the Heatran hitting both super effective, getting up the Veil would be something that the Porygon Z cannot deal with in the back.
Yeah.
So potentially, like, predicting a trick onto either of these Pokemon, not Dynamaxing either. We see the switcheroo into the Lapras.
Yeah, correctly read by Poulter, tricking that eject button there and taking away the Life Orb. Now this Blizzard is going to go ahead and switch the Lapras out. Sir Wilson smartly not Dynamaxing just in case this were to happen, not wanting to put himself in a position where he's not able to get those screens up.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting to see even what comes in here. Pretty much everything on Sir Wilson's team is hit super effectively by this Blizzard, other than the Heatran. So this Heatran is going to have to get a Heat Wave off this turn, potentially getting a double KO for the Dragapult to be able to roam free.
Yeah, for sure. And now with this Whimsicott also having a Life Orb, it's going to be threatening more damage if it's still in fact carrying Moonblast. I know these switcheroo sets don't always have room for an attacking move, but if it does, then that could also come into play here with big damage coming down onto that Dragapult.
And we very well could see something like a Fake Tears into the Heatran just to get a little bit more damage onto it. We see the Dragapult Protect as, let's see what, Ninetales goes for Icy Wind into the Heatran. Not really going to make that big of a difference because most likely every single Pokemon remaining on Polter's side would already outspeed this Heatran. But we'll see what the Whimsicott goes. Oh, one thing that it is important to notice is the Whimsicott is slower than the Ninetales. Something that is not normal based on base speed. But the Heatran does get the single KO and takes Whimsicott down to about 20% left.
Yeah, so really important to survive there from this Whimsicott. It's still going to be sitting here with this Life Orb, threatening big damage with that Moonblast on the Dragapult. You have to be a little bit more concerned that the combination of just a single Moonblast might not be enough to pick off this Dragapult, especially if it goes ahead and Dynamaxes this next turn.
Yeah, and do we know how many turns are left of Tailwind? Is it one turn left?
I believe there should be one turn left based on the positioning. It went up the same turn as the Hail, so they should be expiring at roughly the same time.
Yeah, so with the Hail, having one turn left with Chip, plus the Life Orb damage, oh, thank you for the follow, DJ Prime.
Yeah.
But with the combination of Life Orb damage and Hail, the Whimsicott might not survive this turn. And
we do see the Vicious Rend there go into the protecting of the Heatran. It looks like Tiki might be a little bit frozen on our screen. Whimsicott will go ahead and get some damage with the Moonblast off, as Sir Wilson opted to switch the Dragapult into the Lapras, now repositioning it as the Whimsicott does in fact go down to the combination of Life Orb and Hail, and the Tailwind has now expired, so this Dracovish will not be in as great of a position with the Pokemon in the back for Sir Wilson having access to that. Do we have, there we go, it seems like we have Tiki back.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi had just kind of cut out, so
yeah,
I'm back though.
You froze in quite possibly one of the funniest face positions. You were incredibly surprised.
Oh no.
You were just sitting there on screen with that for just a few minutes, and it was great. So we saw the Whimsicott went down to the combination of Life Orb and the Hail Chip, and now it's a free switch into this Porygon Z, but the Tailwind has now expired. At this point, it is going to be faster than both of the Pokemon that Sir Wilson has on the field, obviously, so it can start to go ahead and go for these Max Strikes to support this Dracovish to get additional Vicious Rend damage off.
Yeah, something like a Max Strike along with a Vicious Rend should just pick up a double KO here. If I was correct in seeing that it's still the Lapras and the Heatran on the field.
It is, yeah. No Dynamax coming out yet from Sir Wilson. So in this positioning, the Vicious Rend will be moving first, perhaps revealing some information as to the item on that Dracovish, and the Porygon Z here will go ahead and go for the big Max Strike into the Lapras, which chose not to Dynamax and will go down, so there will be no screens on Sir Wilson's side of the field.
Yeah, and with, I believe, still the Dragapult left, a Max Wormwind plus into the Dracovish plus a boosted Max Wormwind from potentially the Weakness Policy proccing in the next turn from a Max Darkness from Porygon Z might just pick up the KO and kind of end this game, along with still having the ability to click a Fighting type move into this Porygon Z.
Yeah, for sure. So we see now in this positioning, this Zapdos has the ability to kind of disrupt some of what this Dracovish wants to do in terms of its Vicious Rend wanting to go first and get doubled in power. We've seen the item on it. I'm not sure if there is a position where it revealed that it was faster than something it shouldn't have been thus far in the game. I think maybe on that turn one, the Choice Scarf being faster than the Alolan Ninetales was likely going to be that signal, but in game one, the Dynamax going for the Max Airstream was it would have invalidated that Choice Scarf starting off for the speed tier.
We actually see Sir Wilson Dynamax the Zapdos, which to the combination of both a Vicious Rend and a Max Strike might just get KO'd here if that's what Polter chose to go for.
Yeah, and we see the Dragon Darts last turn. It was able to go ahead and pick up the one-hit KO in Dracovish. This time around, it will be directed into both of these Pokemon, so Dracovish will be moving actually before this Scarf Zapdos, and has invalidated its Scarf again by Dynamaxing, this time going for the Max Airstream into the Dracovish, leaving himself open here to a big Porygon Z Max Strike or Max Darkness into the Dragapult.
Yeah, and potentially either, like, we do see the Max Darkness into the Dragapult, which will probably get, yeah. gets the KO. But in this following turn, Sir Wilson can just max guard for the last turn of Poulter's Dynamax, and then
Yeah, the max.
didn't think about that.
Yeah, the max darkness. Unfortunately, when you're a Porygon Z, the two moves that you're most likely to be carrying are going to be proccing a Defiant on a Zapdos. The only move I think that Porygon Zs oftentimes carry that could have been good there would have been a Max Lightning, but I will admit it's tough to look at a Zapdos and think, I should Max Lightning this.
Yeah, this Zapdos got +1 speed and +2 attack in one turn by just KOing a Dracovish, which we see this Max Knuckle, which I assume will be enough to KO, as yes, the Porygon 2 does get knocked out here. And good games to both these players. For Wilson's going to take the set in 2 games, 2 very close games, pretty much down to the wire, the last Pokemon on each side of the field.
Yeah, for sure. A great showcase here in Series 7 with our very first round of the ATX VGC Monday Night Friendlies for Series 7. We had 4 pretty incredible matches, a lot of them going down to the wire like this one.
Hey, you like that video? We think you should check this out, and YouTube thinks you should check this one out. And be sure to subscribe for more content.